Guys, I just got off the plane and found out some incredible news. Jared Kelenic has been traded. The Mariners have traded Jared Kelenic as well as Evan White and Marco Gonzalez to the Atlanta Braves. In exchange, the Mariners have received Jackson Kowar and Evan Phillips. This is pretty clearly a salary dump of a trade for the Mariners. Getting rid of Jared Kelenic, obviously that sucks, but you do get to clear off $17 million. Marco Gonzalez and Evan White, both of those guys probably weren't going to contribute much to the Mariners next year, so you get to salary dump them, and in exchange, you have to get rid of Jared Kelenic, but you do get back Phillips, who is a 19-year-old pitching prospect. He's the Braves' seventh overall prospect, second-round draft pick. The Mariners obviously have had great success with young pitchers, so he's going to be probably immediately into our top 5 or 6 pitchers. He might end up actually being our top-rated pitching prospect. It'll either be him or Emerson Hancock, so that is promising. Jackson Kowar, the other guy we got, he's pretty much terrible. Jackson Kowar is not going to contribute at all. He's just ass. So, yeah, it's, not necessarily a fantastic trade as far as value goes, because we gave up a starting outfielder as well as, a guy who's had a pretty lengthy career as a pitcher and another guy who was once a first-round pick. We gave those 3 players up for a 19-year-old project and one of the worst starting pitchers in the entire MLB. So I'm honestly not sure. Jackson Kowar, if he's on the team, that's going to be really disappointing. I highly doubt he will. He's probably going to either be released or he'll be on the Rainiers. Or he might be traded again. You never know. Here's my very initial thoughts. I'll do more of a longer video later when I'm not at the middle of the airport. But I'm not too mad about this, just because I think that clearing up this salary of Marco and Evan White is kind of essential if you want to sign anybody in free agency. Because clearly, we're working with a tight budget. Clearly, we're working with not a lot of financial resources. There's an article the other day. Root Sports, the Mariners lost the Root Sports deal, so that's going to put them like $30 million in the hole. So they do need to find ways to kind of build up their salary, and so getting rid of, you're shedding a pretty significant percentage of your salary, which Marco was going to be in competition with Brian Wu for whether or not he's going to even be in the rotation. So honestly, yeah, I'm fine getting rid of him. Evan White, clearly, he hasn't been able to hit the field since April 2021. So again, I'm not super mad that we got rid of him. And even Jared Kelenic, look, he is a starting outfielder, young player, lots of potential, but at the same time, he's really only had one good month in his entire career. He was good in April, and that was it. He had a few decent Septembers, but legitimately, Evan White's just not that good. Or Jared Kelenic, I don't think he's actually that good. I think he was a little bit overrated as a prospect. I think that with Seattle, he just has struggled a lot. He also has, I think he has pretty bad anger issues. And, he showed that when he kicked the cooler and broke his foot for 2 months. That was Jared Kelenic's fault. And, at some point you have to say, do we want that negative energy? Do we want those negative vibes on the team? So do I wish we could have gotten a little bit more for Jared Kelenic? Yeah, I do. But at the same time, we basically used him as a bargaining chip to shed $15 million, which we could then put into potentially signing somebody who is actually going to be better than Jared Kelenic and who could actually have such a much more impact on the team. So honestly, I'm fine with this, but again, what does this do? It creates another hole on the Mariners roster. Now we have holes at right field, left field, DH, second base, third base. We have 5 holes on our team, and I would argue that backup catcher is still also kind of something that we're a little bit weak in. So there's just a lot right now that the Mariners need to upgrade. But now we have a little bit more cash in the bank to do that. But again, the likelihood has increased a lot that Dominic Canzone is probably going to be one of your starting outfielders, and you might be able to get one more. If not, I don't know who that next guy up would be. I guess it would be Cade Marlowe or Zach DeLoach, or I would say maybe this means Jonathan Clase is going to be on the opening day roster next year, because Jonathan Clase, a guy with a lot of potential. So anyways, that is the overall. I would say this trade right now, probably about a B-, maybe a B. I think Jerry, again, probably should have been a little bit more aggressive in his negotiations, but it is what it is. You clear a bunch of salary, and you exchange one of your young, struggling prospects for an even younger prospect who might be able to help you 3, 4, 5 years down the road. So that's my initial reaction.